Hello. It's kind of weird finding a 35th. Let's go. Okay, jumping back in. Let's... Don't have anything to load here. What's this mean? Album. Okay, I don't have any of them yet. Okay, I'm just getting into some other place in the menu so I don't automatically go into the opening cutscene. So, you probably haven't seen that opening before. Yeah. That's a new one for you. So, what was I did? What is that exactly? Where do you get that from? I'm gonna hit new game just to get out of this. Where do you get that cutscene from? Well, you get it from the Infinity Plus box set version. So that's what that is. Now I don't know if you get a different type of intro eventually as you go through the game, like if you keep toggling, but that's what that is. So this is something new to present. Now, as you can see, I have the Japanese version. This is in Japanese, of course, so it's kind of a weird font. This is not the English patched version. And it has a rainbow text box, very reminiscent of Memories Off. It has this like star effect thing on the text. So you can read this, of course, if you can read Japanese. It might work with an OCR or a text hooker. The OCR would have some serious trouble because this font is really weird. But a text hooker, if you knew the hook code would be able to put this into Google Translate, for example. And you'd be able to understand this. So I'm going to just close out of this. I'm going to quit the game. So I don't know how to do that. This is probably quit, right? Yeah, cool. So, and then try something else. And that's this. So I'm going to start up the game again. Here we go. Is it not going to work? Correct, it's not working. Um, that's interesting. It looks like I might have to reboot the computer because it might work if I rebooted the computer. It's kind of the funny thing about this game. But it looks like one of the English patches to this doesn't actually work on the version I have, which is kind of unnerving. Interesting. Well, I'll reboot and append onto this video later. So that kind of goes to one of my laundry lists of things to take care of with this video is just showing the that particular cutscene. And showing the original Japanese version working with the background music also working. It is finicky, meaning that, for example, if I were to go back and try to launch the game again, it won't launch. In other words, I have to reboot my computer every time I want to launch it. Because it has some problem with compatibility with Windows 10. So I'm going to go to my browser. So I'm going to go to the next topic. I'm going to go to my browser next. So let me do that. I will go back to that Japanese version of Never7 to practice my Japanese at some point in the future. Now I'm going to do a browser capture. I haven't set this up beforehand because I'm a dunce. Yes. Never mind that. That's not how you do that. Wow, you just saw me fail at OBS in real time. I want to add a window capture. Yes. Okay, cool. Now, this will have my username and stuff in it, but as long as I be careful, I won't give too much away. So, I'm going to go to the DMM web store. How am I going to do that? I'm going to Google DMM. DMM web shop. And then I'm going to go DMM.com Wikipedia because for some reason it doesn't show up on Google if you're in the United States. And then I'm going to go to the official website linking from Wikipedia. Now, I'm going to try to translate to English after it loads, but my internet is like really slow. So I have to wait a while before it is loaded enough of the page before it says that it can translate. Okay, let me try to translate it now. Cool. And now I want to go to paid game. Actually, that's online. I goofed up. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, I definitely did not prep. I definitely just was doing this on the fly on an impulse. Here we go, PC games and software. And then I want to sort by the publisher. So when it's enough text, I'm going to try translating already, but it probably will fail because not enough text. Yeah, translate, okay. Okay, manufacturer, I guess. And then I'm going to choose, I'm just basically demonstrating you how to browse DMM. Oh, 505 games, that, I recognize that. It worked on Control. So I'm going to try to scroll down to where I find mages, which should start with Ma, right? I don't know what order this is in. Mages, there you go. It's already purple because I've already been here. And then, so now we see that they have version of Never7 for sale for 1,628 yen. So here's the point I was trying to make. So back when I started doing these Let's Plays, I didn't know what the DMM web shop was. I found out what the DMM web shop was through Reddit, actually. And I was told through Reddit that the Infinity series, the original Infinity series trilogy, isn't actually out of print in totality as I had thought. Actually, they're still selling it for digital download through the DMM web shop, which is the shop that sells software in Japan only to Japanese people. In other words, in order to buy something and to download it, you have to use a VPN that pretends that you're in Japan. And I don't know if you're going to break some sort of law trying to do that. So I obviously haven't tried. And on DMM, you can download a version of Never7, and you can pay for it, and supposedly the money would indeed go to Mages, who is the publisher of the game. Now, what's really interesting here is that I see Never7, I see Remember 11, both for the same price. I don't see Ever 17. So I don't know why Ever 17 is up there. Maybe because it's so popular, they've pulled it to create artificial scarcity. Don't know. But, so that's my second thing for this. My second point here is these games are not actually out of print, like I thought. Now, what is the implications of that? Well, I don't really know. I mean, as an American trying to get a PC version in English, it's still pretty hard, right? It's very unlikely that the English patch for Never7 actually works on the DMM version, because it's very likely to be fundamentally different in architecture from the original disc version. But it is something to make a note of. The second thing I want to make a note of is that I'll probably put a link to it in the description. Okay, the next thing I wanted to bring up was that I didn't find this out for a while, but a new version of the Eternal Edition came out. This is part of my script for Ever 17 Part 34. It's kind of a preview of what's to come there. A new version of the Eternal Edition came out, and it's called version 0.4. And it was published on February 2nd, 2022, which, if you recall my timeline of Let's Plays, that's after I finished my Let's Play of Never7. So whatever version I played was a version that was earlier than 0.4. So just saying that there's a new version out. And if I remember to do so, I'll put a link to a page in my description of my video that it has on it a link to where you can download it. It'll be like a 2-step link. And there's also a portable version on the Internet Archive, where it's like you don't actually need to install the Love 2D engine. You just all self-contained. I don't know what version that is, though, too. I'm just kind of like giving a little update that they're still working on it, and a new version has come out. And just kind of to give the motivation, spell check in real time here. Oh, it doesn't actually, LibreOffice Writer doesn't think vanishingly is a word. The motivation for this port is because, as I dim it at, is the fan translation for the original Japanese version is finicky, particularly on Windows 10. And the original Japanese version itself is also finicky on Windows 10, and therefore, if you try to play it in English by using that translation, likely does not work on the DMM version. Meaning that if you wanted to play it in English, you have to deal if you wanted to deal with like a commercially available port or version, you have to use this finicky version with the finicky fan translation on top of it. And the Love 2D port makes it a lot more stable. The problem with the Love 2D port, that allows you to kind of preserve the game as it's now playable on more modern platforms. The problem with the Love 2D port is I have no reason to believe anybody working on this port talked to mages at all about intellectual property. And so, as far as I know, it's purely piracy. They took all of the resources in the game, like the background music and the sprites and the story and the backgrounds, ported them that are all part of the intellectual property of mages, and then just stuck them all into this fan port and made it available to download for free. So it can create some conscience problems. But that's what it is. But that's kind of why it exists, is because of the unreliability of the old PC port on disk, which I just demonstrated I had there. Okay. So I'm going to stop recording here, and then I'm going to reboot my computer and start up again and see if I can accomplish what I want to accomplish here. Okay, are we ready? The moment of truth. Behold my black screen. Let's see if it launches. I'm going to do it in windowed. I'm going to start. Yes. The verdict is, does not launch. So there's some incompatibility with the English patch and the run CD. Right, and probably now I attempted to launch that, if I actually go back to the Japanese and try to launch the Japanese, it won't launch either. Yeah, correct. So, oof. One more thing to try here. Yeah, exactly. So, I go Task Manager. Correct. Okay, so black screen for the whole remainder of that video. Basically demonstrating how hard it is to get the English patch to actually run. You saw me do it a couple times, I think, in the my Let's Play, but I thought I could get it to, maybe I could get it to work on recording, and I can't right now, and I can't. So I managed to show the Japanese version, the original Japanese version running, but I wasn't able to show an English translation of it running. That's pretty tough. I'm going to try one last time. So I'm going to restart my computer and try one last time and see if I can get it at the very end. Okay, one last try. I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I don't want to say what different, but I'm going to do something different this time. Ready? So I do it in windowed. Did not launch. Yep. Okay. So that's why the I think I can show my file explorer. Let me do that. That's why you have that's why the Love Engine port exists. So let me do that here. Okay, am I going now? Okay, sorry, I had to do some weird cuts there, but so this is my so this is what I would click to launch the Japanese, and right now it doesn't work, obviously, because of what I've done. I have the run disk in, as you can see. So yeah, and then because I already tried to launch a version of the game, and if I try to launch a version of a game, it doesn't like it won't run any other version from then on out. It'll be like, nope, I can't run this. I'm gonna pause encoding and move around here. And this is what it looks like. I know it's like the upper left corner of my recording, whatever. If you apply the English patch to it, and this is what you would click to launch it, and it doesn't run, of course. I just kind of showing you this stuff. Anyway, it's kind of what I was saying at the very beginning before I got cut off unexpectedly by the intro was, yeah, it's not as nice anymore. I don't have 34 parts in my playlist. I have 35, and it's no longer an integer multiple of 17, but at least it's an integer multiple of 7. And yeah, sorry, this was like a very impromptu, on the fly, decide to do it the day of recording this kind of messy, and I didn't script it out at all, so that's why it is the way it is. But I don't know if this was helpful or not. I don't. It just me doing research to do the last part of my Ever 17 playlist, and this whole topic came up, and so I decided to do a little, I don't know, expression of my frustration over the original files of Never7. And give a little bit of update, like how, no, in the beginning when I said you couldn't buy it, that's incorrect. You can actually buy it. And two, a new version of the Eternal Edition is out. And so the version I did in Let's Play was out of date. Okay, with that, I'm going to end. If you watched that, thank you for watching it. Okay, one last shot. I got this new idea. What if the English patch version will launch with the play disc not in the drive? What that would do is it would make it so the background music does not play. And it's a piracy protection measure to make sure that no one like just moves around the install like a portable while just keeping the disc for themselves or reselling the disc and their game still be able to run on their platform. So let's see if I can get it to launch without the disc installed. So I get this prompt to say I want to do it windowed. And the answer is I straight up can't even do that. Okay. I may not even put this in the recording. Or I might. Depends.